In July 1970, the United States military launched an Athena test rocket from a facility in Utah. It was carrying vials of highly radioactive cobalt. Its intended target was a barren patch of the White Sands Missile Range in New Mexico. Somewhere in the upper atmosphere, the rocket veered wildly off course. It blew past the New Mexico border and crashed 400 miles south, deep inside the Mapimi Biosphere Reserve in northern Mexico. The U.S. Air Force quickly mobilized a massive covert recovery operation. For 28 days, military engineers worked in the Mexican desert, even building a temporary railroad extension to haul out the radioactive debris and contaminated topsoil. The American military eventually packed up and left, but their heavy secrecy surrounding the crash birthed a lasting geographical legend. It didn't take long for local tour guides, known as Zaneros, to capitalize on the mystery. They began circulating stories that the missile was deliberately pulled out of the sky by alien interference and UFO activity. They backed up these stories with claims of strange, localized phenomena. Tourists were told that compass needles spun uncontrollably, and television signals evaporated entirely the moment you crossed into the area. The most famous claim was that if you brought a portable radio into the desert, the broadcast would immediately cut out, leaving you listening to nothing but dead static. The UFO stories were fabricated to sell guided tours, but the technological dead zone actually exists. Radio waves really do fail out there, pointing to a physical force buried beneath the sand. Decades later, researchers from the Potosino Institute of Scientific and Technological Research set out to map the invisible forces at play in Mapimi. They relied heavily on magnetometry, a method of measuring the intensity of the Earth's magnetic field to detect massive geological structures hidden deep underground. This map shows the researchers' findings. The intense red and blue contrast zones reveal heavy, localized magnetic anomalies pulling directly beneath the desert floor. This geological cross-section reveals a deeply fractured Paleozoic basement loaded with intrusive rock formations pushing up through faults. At the top, line graphs of magnetic profiles track perfectly with the vertical faults below, mapping spikes in surface data to jagged subterranean breaks. The Mapimi Desert acts as a highly active, fractured geological broadcast tower, radiating intense magnetic variations straight up into the atmosphere. Those intrusive rock bodies are packed with ferromagnetic materials. Specifically, they contain massive concentrations of magnetite, a mineral with exceptionally high natural magnetism. Millions of years of meteorite strikes in this geographic parallel have deposited even more raw iron into the dirt, compounding the area's natural magnetic charge. These iron-rich deposits actively warp the Earth's baseline magnetic field. As uniform vertical field lines bend around underground metallic masses, this warped field acts as a natural jammer. Transmitted radio waves hit the distorted field and scatter into chaotic static. The zone of silence is devoid of magic. It's a massive electromagnetic jammer constructed by millions of years of tectonic pressure and falling space rock. We tend to assume that our modern infrastructure operates entirely above the physical constraints of the natural world. We treat cellular networks, GPS, and aerospace engineering as if they exist perfectly untethered in the cloud or in flawless low Earth orbit. Every invisible data signal must eventually interact with the physical and mineralogical fields of the Earth itself. A clean data link between a satellite and a receiver will shatter into static if it passes through a heavily distorted magnetic crust. No matter how sophisticated our engineering becomes, a multi-million-dollar missile or a microscopic silicon chip can still be defeated by ancient iron buried in the dirt. The zone of silence serves as a spectacular geological mirror. It is a rare geographic coordinate where the Earth's deep, ancient history rises up to silently interrupt the illusion of human control.